to try and help them out. So they're getting free peeks in the back line. One more gone down now as well. It's just Teams and Vex left alive.
Such a hard area to play. Every time you want to take a fight, someone shoots in the back. You then try to take the fight the other way. You get shot in the back one more time. Here's a hit and run scenario. FaZe falling subject to that here. 30 Sports been left to their own. Toes, little bit of a pedicure there, but doesn't quite get the connection that he wants. Has to reposition, go to cover. Now gets the repeat. Cappy down, puts Flores for 0-1-0 Esports, and I think the zone's going to do him. Unfortunately for FaZe, they will fall. 5th place for them. 0-0, sorry, 0-0 Esports falling 6th, 5th for FaZe. Goes quick to a top 4. BB team, they still got all 4 up. They've been dancing around, putting the miles on the cars.
No one dares
put
to
the miles
go
on the kills.
It's like a dance floor at 3 a.m. when they start making that dumb circle and no one wants to take part in it. They just want to have fun. You know, this is the exact same thing. No one dares to go circle center because there ain't nowhere to go. Copy. Try to potentially just go down to blue, but not going to happen. Killiakai finds him through the smoke. And now everyone else in trouble here as well. Such an interesting game, this one, where non-stop teams are just gatekeeping one another. That's what caused FaZe to fall earlier as well, with Vorpal being allowed to peek over because, I mean, it's just... yeah, everyone holding back one another, and now this is what it results in.
How we got Ascend and BB team here again? The nosy neighbours have found themselves in a top 4 position. Foot going to be falling their way down. Vorpal do get the rest. They remain as a 2. BB team have the numbers, but I worry. Ascends are on the rise again.
Yeah.
They will come out. They've got arguably a really good position just to kind of launch that U2 over. That's before we engage Killiakai with that P90. But Vorpal Sword, well, they've got something else to say. They get the opening up on Aniko.
Once Scav is down, and he is now you will start seeing everyone flex up more. Now there's only really one angle to fear, and it's west to east. I do see one more shot. Oh, misses them both. Sabila dodging and weaving to the best of his ability. Able to stay alive and actually doing a lot of damage. In return allows for Killiakai to peek over the third-party engagement from the south.
Yeah, Killy's not going to go for the res here. He's going to try and take advantage. BB team have to get rid of Vorpal Sword. They have done nice and quick. 3rd place for them now, as it is down to Killiakai. He's going to try and back himself up into the corner here, but unfortunately I feel like BB team, they've got the util dump. Killy's going to back off, but for the German team, what a start. Nate comes through here, Toby, but he's able to survive out.
Yeah, Killiakai has a P90. I like that for him, but he's got 3 angry BB team players just waiting. And they don't actually know what I say, waiting. He's not gonna. It's gonna be Killiakai backing out, conceding this one, and for good reason too. BB team out victorious in this game after playing the Valley for that long. I did not see that coming.
BB team and Ascent arguably avoiding all of the chaos that we saw from the early game, finding themselves another top 4, but it was coming down to Vorpal Sword. They'd be taking the huge amounts of kills in that game. It's a lot of points to be racking up though, so great game number 2.
I mean, great game for sure. Miramar, normally the more calm and calculated game of a map of them all. Turns out in game 1 and this one too to be chaos galore. Insane shots to kick off the match here. Some incredible mechanical plays come through, and then just this mid to late game sort of 4-way chess match between all these teams was a great way to finish off Miramar today.
So Toby said it there, gents, about how he normally expects a bit of a cooler, calmer Miramar, but all we've seen for these last 2 maps is absolute chaos. You called this, Avenger, in the pre-match. You said the start of the group stages, we're going to see a lot of this chaos as teams kind of stick their elbows out and try to figure out where their position is, right?
Yeah, and boy, oh boy, did you get it. And also, I will say this circle here, this west of San Martin, no cover, open terrain. Everyone has to get off the high ground or outside the city. That's just insane. Like, it's such a difficult kind of terrain to play. And also, this BRDM play from Hive with Waffle Swords, what was that?
It was something, wasn't it? I was very surprised, but it was a cool little scrap that we saw go down. I appreciate the attempt at trying to make him crash so they could get the Panzer going down and maybe steal it away, but yeah, blow for blow.
We're taking a look at your highlights now. It's map number 2 here at PEC4. We've got 6 maps today in our day 1, Group A versus Group B. There's 2 teams, actually 3. I'm going to throw them in the mix and do this as well. 3 teams that we've now seen finish in the top 5 in both of these Miramars. And it is obviously FaZe. They won the last one, 5th here. And then we saw Ascend as well make it through to that Final Four, and BB Team as well. Walk me through, Kylaris, what BB Team was able to do in that final fight to make sure that they could secure that victory.
Well, I think it started even before the final fight, honestly, in terms of them trying to control space, which is almost negative space that Avenger was talking to about how kind of that circle shifts west of San Martin, right? Because it is so open. Molodoc's going forwards, trying to kind of secure a spot there, which is always going to be very difficult anyway. And then from there, the whole team can kind of sweep and find themselves better angles against any other team that's trying to scramble later on into a circle like that. So I think the space game for BB Team is really strong compared to some of these teams. Admittedly, Ascend had a bit of it, but just not enough to really deal with what BB Team was throwing their way.
But we take a look at those points. Avenger, Vorpal Swords, obviously with a bit more of an aggressive play, means that they can finish on the top there, 16. That's pretty nice for them.
Yeah, they admittedly had the only kind of playable area space where they had some cover, where they could actually shoot a lot of guys. And yeah, obviously getting 11 kills here is great. But winning the game is huge for BB Team after that performance in the last game too. They're going to have tons of points. Ascend also looking good. Again, good amount of kills and second place in this game here. So it's going to rack up a lot of points.
We had some question marks around Foot Esports in the pre-show. Avenger, what did you think about their performance here?
I mean, this one was great. It's a really, really difficult area to get off. When you have to get off the high ground, you're kind of the last team. You have 3 or 4 teams staring at you, trying to kind of maximize. You're never going to get off. You have to get low ground within the cover of the city before you kind of get off that. So, yeah, it was just impossible for Foot. But they managed to get a decent amount of kills and some placement.
Well, that's the thing, right? They're holding some kind of plateaus, and I think they know that their game is kind of cooked before you get down to, like, the top 3, right? So you're never going to be able to get there. So before that, they were shooting at everything that moved with that high ground advantage, and I think that's a really good mark of a team that understands, okay, we're probably not going to get a win from here. We could try. Yeah. We could try, absolutely, but just try and get as many kill points on the board before we do end up going down.
Let's take a look now. 2 maps have been played. So let's take a look at the overall standings. Of course, the goal here is to finish towards the top so that you can make it all the way through to championship. Whoa. You can skip those last chance qualifiers, and you can see there Ascend, BB Team, FaZe sitting pretty at the top. But it is quite early in the group stages, Kylaris, for these to really make too much of a difference, right? We need to give them a couple more games.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we'll see some teams move on up as time goes on. I think for Ascend, though, for being number 1, that's a great start for them, considering I think there are some question marks around that team as to if they can really kind of attain, a podium down the line at a tournament like this. But coming in from the West, as soon as they dealt with Hands of Hope, they had so much room to work with, more so than any other team in this lobby. And they really capitalized on that after the previous game, of course, having a decent center spot. So they're being able to play out both styles pretty nicely for these Miramars.
Oh, let's have a little bit of fun here, Avenger. Kylaris mentioned there about a podium finish. If you had to take a look at Ascend as this lineup stands right now, would they be able to finish in the top 3 of PEC Fall, do you think?
Nah, not without Kobo. They need a Kobo in there. They need to spice it up,
That's the sauce.
That's the sauce, the secret sauce. No, I think with what we've seen of them so far, like, I mean, it's great. I don't think I've seen enough. And if you want to be in there and get a PGS or even secure yourself a PGC, you need to stay 3 or 4 guys alive all the way to the end game and be able to have a chance. They did not stand a chance of winning this. If they were 3 off that high ground or even 4, that would have been an easy win for them. Like, they would have had a decent amount of more kills from that, but they're losing 1 or 2 guys in like somewhat scrappy fights. Like the Hands of Hope fight was kind of scrappy, and it makes it difficult for them. And I mean, at this point here in late game, even in regional group stage here, you need to be 3 or 4 guys, otherwise you're not winning late games.
So there you go. That's what Avenger had to say. Put a pin in that, and we can circle back in 3 weeks and see
and they're top 3.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. You never know. Anything can happen. We are moving on to Tego now. So are we expecting a change in the teams that we see featured? Is there going to be a complete change in gameplay, Kylaris? What do you think?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Obviously, FaZe has a pretty decent central spot from there. They've already done well when it comes to 2 games, so I'm hoping that they can kind of continue on this kind of style. I mean, obviously, even in this previous game where they're in San Martin, it's not the easiest place to get out of, and obviously there were teams that like leapfrogged forwards from them. But I am impressed by what I've seen so far from FaZe, considering a resilience factor, because I feel like in many tournaments this year we've not seen that just yet, and they have shown more resilience in these 2 games compared to some of those past tournaments here for 2025. So I'd like to see them do it on Tego because it's a good spot for them.
That is actually a fair comment, because hell, FaZe has looked really bad, Avenger. And coming into this, I think last legs, and like you said, last chance as well for them, for PGC.
Yeah.
So it does look positive. Again, I'm scared to have hope, because I don't want to get let down by them later on this weekend.
No, absolutely not. And on top of that, like, there were 11 points from the last PGS, right? And as we throw Sam away, James, we'll take it over here, and I'll finish my thought. There were 11 points in PEC Spring from getting to PGS, and that, like, 11 points is not a lot, but there were 11 points from third from Virtus Pro. So like our kind of top stack of the best teams in Europe is just really, really close at the moment. And if you can kind of get a good start here, the cutoff to the top 8 was 76, 77 points for PEC, but obviously we're gonna have a little bit more points coming in with everything considered here. But yeah, starting from the west towards the east here, a somewhat decent start for them, and FaZe is gonna be able to get in there and kind of chill.
All right for Buxansar, unless for some reason the Bonitas want to go that way as well, because they're dropping that way. I'm assuming that they want to go further to Ohang and just go along, but it looks like they're dispersing across Buxansar, so maybe they're being challenged here, Avenger.
Could look like a challenge here, and yeah, it's they just want to challenge all day, don't they?
Yeah.
Naleb loves that, apparently.
They're crazy. Well, it looks like we might end up giving us over to the commentators very quickly for this one, so let's do it.
3-3.
Well, they were able to get themselves a win and a loss on the Miramar hot drops. Now we'll see if they can take on FaZe, which Gustav right off the bat says, yeah, nope, not so much. Able to find a sawed off. Shot to the chest, takes not down. We'll see if they can get more with it. Now, Marcus, for the time being, they get to loot at least a little bit.
It's the final boss mode. FaZe clan taking in Buxansar. Jogger trying to take everybody on here. But yeah, it is 3 out of 3 hot drop central. First point does go towards FaZe. Vard doesn't have the vest. He's going to try and find a little bit of information. At least if he can continue that kind of front line, it's going to allow the rest of the guys just to get looted, and Fex kind of coming in behind him in that sort of east side of the town. He'll be able to sort of work his way around up to sort of the high ground. Naleb, though, we're looking to try and do the same. I think it's definitely worth noting there is a recall system here as well, so it's not always about like it was historically, like you've got to win the fight, you've got to try and stay 4 up or it's going to have an impact. Actually, you just need to win the fight now, Toby,
Exactly.
and then you'll be able to get a recall in.
Assuming that none of the surrounding teams are going to come in and say hello as well. Because that is definitely something we've seen in tournaments past, that you have FaZe.
Yes.
And I think we saw it with FaZe and Petrichor Road going up against one another for Buxansar for quite a while. And then you always have TSM and now Liquid peeking around to come and see what was happening over the hillside. So they've definitely felt both the good and the bad from this position FaZe, that is. We'll see now, though, if they can dislodge our Bonitos as they're down to 3.
And you're right, it's a very valid point. We've got a hype beast that will try and play in. We've seen it before. The other one, which is not in the lobby, win or die, they also like to try and play in on this really early, especially from the south side. So definitely one to watch as the group stages will unfold. And Na'Vi extends, is trying to unfold a defensive action. No, is he trying to get Diffix down? He does, though. But Diffix down, instead of getting a flush, he draws his attention now back to the rest of the team that have crashed on in. Does he get the opportunity? No, he doesn't. Quizzy will put him down.
Yep, no yellow Donitos on the minimap. Tells me that GK knew exactly what they were up against. Able to get the flushes, and I'm not seeing Na'Vi fully commit to the push here. They're going to stop a bit outside, I would imagine, after getting the flush there, and then wait for them to move further inside circle, and then go pick up their fallen teammate. As now back towards FaZe we go. As you can see, I was just saying it. Look at the minimap. Hype are encroaching on Buxansar, so even if you feel safe, as you were saying before, Mark, that I'll just win the fight. Doesn't matter how many you're alive, you'll be fine to rest afterwards. I might not allow them as the fight pops up once more. Naylor be able to find Gustav.
Yeah, Gustav down. Unfortunately for FaZe, Hypebeast are going to cause some problems because they're coming from the north side. FaZe will be exposed.
Yep.
Let's see if Gustav can find some safety now as Hypebeast are trying to put themselves into a position. But I think Fex,
did they hear
spider
that?
sense. He knows, mate. He knows that someone's coming in close because again, we've seen it. We've seen Hypebeast do it before. He's seen him now, and we've seen Win or Die. Win or Die a little bit different on their crash. They just fully crash in with cars. But he has seen him though. But at least they got the information. Gain. Fuzzface though gets an opening. That'd be a point for them.
Yeah, so not picking sides, picking favorites here. They'll shoot at anyone down below them. Now for Hypebeast though, got to be a little worried because now Na'Vi are coming in here as well. And I don't think Na'Vi realized what they're pulling themselves up towards. They're down to 3 as well. They're going, or trying to go, for maybe a rest on their fallen teammate in Pshcke. But little do they know, that's being fought over by 3 teams.
Gotta be cautious. Ammo. A little bit of a question here. You know, 556 for Vard over 2. He's sharing 70 though. So let's back off slightly. Going to relocate back to the sort of southeast corner. Bumbleover has worked his way in as well. So interesting to see if they know there's a player here, let alone a player with a Panzer waiting in the corner.
Hate to see it. Spread out, guys. Don't run in a bunch, because that will take out the entirety of you. Bumble had himself a solid 3-piece in the first game of Miramar in a pretty hectic up-close fight. So we'll see if he can make something happen here again. Gustav did manage to get rest. And you know what? I love the fact that FaZe are backing out of this. They don't know exactly where they have their opponents. They know they're around. They're saying, let's scan the hills first. There's simply too much to lose in going down here. We got a couple of kills on Bonito. Let's play it smart and get out of Dutch while we can.
Yep, there is none. There's no. Sam's going to give us a hard time. We can't go down. We've started so well. We've got to get ourselves now in towards the centre. They're going to make that transition away, so it's going to leave Hypebeast. Pshcke will be there as well. It's interesting if they keep their heads down and maybe try and use that recall system. The zone has played off towards that sort of east side with a lot of unplayable with the red line. So, yes, obviously it will be aggressive. We've had a lot of aggressive starts to these already, but it does mean we have a lot of unplayable. So, therefore, we expect the zone to shift back. These teams are consolidating a lot more, kind of going for that donut. They're going for the centre of the zone, hoping to try and get the next shift.
Yeah, they're trying to drive further north now. Issue is that while they were fighting Pshcke, everyone that came in from the west of that have kind of overlapped FaZe Clan and taken some of the prime central positions. So FaZe will very soon find out that trying to claim anything circle center outside of a rich land and a couple of trees won't really be that easy. Having said that, though, seems like they're going to vie for the city proper. And, well, now it's going to be Ascent running, trying to make their way safely towards the north.
Then using those drops, a little bit of a bait there. FaZe not drawn in to get their hand caught in the cookie jar, but now it's more of a get out of here as the pursuit unfolds. FaZe do put up, they see the car, they hear them not driving away. They're going to go for that reposition here in the Ascend. They want nothing to do with this early fight. They've had such a great start, they don't want to throw it away. Here when it's time to take go.
First and second place teams respectively thus far. Of course, only 2 games into it, but still don't want to throw a spanner in the wheels of that one. We've seen how quickly things can go sideways in a game of PUBG, as now it's over to Warblesword and Pshcke who are finding each other up here on the hills.
All right, just waiting. He's got the information. Obviously, he starts moving about. They're going to hear him. There's another position out towards that right-hand side, which I think he's heard the footsteps. Here's the car getting drawn in. Now sees the headshots potentially. Let's get the first transition. Swaps over to Sloy, but he's down to a one-shot. Doesn't quite get the connection he wants.
The Spiro? I don't even know. He doesn't even have a secondary weapon yet. He's just running around. Diffix has no spare bullets. I mean, these guys have had no time to loot whatsoever, but able to get Sabilla down. We'll see if they can get more with it. Sloy down to low HP as well. It's they're in Ouyang as well. It's been a crazy start for Pshcke. The fact they haven't been able to get anything at all before now.
That's one of the advantages. Couple of gliders around. BBT like to use these on Taker and more importantly on Rondo, which I'm sure we'll see a little bit later. That's gaining a lot of information for them. They're on the south side of the zone, so trying to figure out kind of where that Pshcke is. They'll be trying to figure out where SlamG's coming in. So a lot of shooting, a lot of sort of teams taking out these compounds. So information being farmed here from the teams. Really good to see everyone, I think, really waiting for this next shift.
Yeah. And, I mean, as we're looking at as well, once again, please have the map feed open, everyone. It's very helpful, especially at times like these, where teams are spread pretty thin. If you look up towards the north, I mean, Mark, there's so much space. I know there ain't a whole lot of prime real estate up there, especially not in the Circle 1, so it makes sense that teams center up more. But looking up towards the north, if we go up there, I mean, we are in for a Miramar-esque chaos quality of a rotation.
I think you're right. There's a little bit of a gamble here. We have that kind of drying up riverbed that goes through the middle, and we see a lot of zones sort of shift back that way. So the hill where we kind of seen FaZe drive by, and we see Quint now sort of park up. I think it would be kind of an interesting spot when we see the zone shift away. If it plays to the south, yeah, obviously the teams are going to consolidate, and lucky enough, they've got the draw. But that north shift that you're talking about, everyone is going to have to mass migrate. Then there's going to be some huge choke points, left alone that sort of drivable river. It's going to be a bit chaos. But we're only 32 seconds away before we find out. And Footy Sports, they're one of the teams in the furthest north looking to try and farm if it does come their way.
See here, Foot. They found themselves a somewhat northern center position, and a good one at that too, because again, they want to be the superstitious guy in the room. But whenever circles do end up going east, that ridge line, that little mountain or hillside that Foot finds himself on, has been the end position of many games.
Yeah.
Issue always is for the first team that gets there. It's kind of an Everest type scenario where can you maintain control of it, and just like that, circle goes right up there. Not being superstitious, by the way. Not superstitious. Just,
if Toby asks, Toby gets the PUBG gods have given us a north, arguably even worse, it's a northeast zone. We still have a lot of unplayable. There's a load of fields in that northeast corner, but the eyes will come to that high ground where Footy Sports sort of lie, kind of where Quint are. Do they sort of stick, or do they sort of move? If they stay there, they can try and get some of these teams, but the eye of the storm is going to be the town. FaZe Clan and Ascend 1 and 2 coming in home sweet home.
And one of the teams really getting to reap the rewards here, assuming they're going to dare to go further towards it, is Hope. I mean, Hands of Hope. They're only now coming into a map feed. That's how far north they drove over. They were obviously being slowed down by Bushido out towards the west, who too have yet to make their way on in. But they're going to have plenty of space up here towards the north. In the meantime, the Ants and the Ant Farm are running wild towards the circle center. Because, again, there ain't a whole lot to play. We just shifted north out of pretty much 50% of the compounds in the previous circle.
The Mythos driving past here with Geekhead. I think they've got like 2 mines to crash in. They've had to reposition. They didn't get the knocks, so they're now going to reposition around the other side. Geekhead takes some opening knocks. What the TMO don't know is they've gone from potentially the frying pan into the fire. They're going to crash now in towards FaZe. FaZe are ready. Teams gets the open, Sparks will fall, and the chaos will start to unfold.
You have your playbook, and it is so big, but in the end, sometimes just push into the city. It sounds better. Vart right now, frontlining on his own. Has teams nearby, but he's had to fall back for a bit. In the meantime, down towards the southwest, fights are happening between Bushido and Hypebeast as well, who are split into 2-2. So multiple fights taking place here at the same time. As Fex able to find one, James finds another. It's just down to 1 for the Mythos.
I love it. FaZe shooting FaZe. Just get aggressive. Everything that moves, get a shot at. But, well, he knows where the target's going to be. The money does go out. Got to be cautious. He does duck his way in towards the town. So through the building we go. And Justice, well, the final player now standing for that TMO position. Sparta and Bad Boy, they get confirmed out.
Yeah, and now Foot is making their presence known in this fight as well. Them with the high ground position. A lot of shots being peppered down towards Justice, who is a solo player left alive for his team. Being tracked through the smoke here. Great spray, great kind of control of what's happening. Vart saw him initially and just kind of followed his pathing all the way through. Gustav will be the one to get the kill in the end. So we'll face yet another great game to kick things off here. In the meantime, we saw Bushido and their fight with them and Hype come to an end, where I believe 2 of Hype went down. Yeah, they're down to just the second part of their split.
And so obviously working their way in, they got caught on that E-rotate as well. So they came in from that sort of southwest corner. Geekhead don't need drops, but hey, let's give them some drops as well. Right on top of them, bit of cover to work their way over. Jogger will obviously try and hold out here. FaZe looking to sort of stretch out, flex the muscles to a degree to make sure no one else tries to crash into that northeast side of the zone. But interesting start. And again, a lot of these teams putting us flag in the soil going, this is our turf. Don't come near.
Exactly. Now everyone has gotten their footing. They've gotten their building, and I don't think anyone now is going to be in a hurry to aggress. They've all gotten their little piece of the Kanyong pie, and they're going to chill until the next circle forces them to do something else. And speaking of, it's actually kind of wild that we have 6 teams, or we had 7, in this city, given how little a portion of the circle it takes. But I feel like that's just Takeo in a nutshell. Yeah. The fact that, yes, you have a lot of circles to play, but there really ain't a whole lot of room to maneuver as the circle swings south again. Tough shift for anyone up north. Good thing is that there ain't really a whole lot of teams up there because everyone is stuck in this city.
it's quite surprising for me because we see that sort of riverbed at the end hold for quite a lot of time. So again, no
Yes.
surprise that we see Navi over there, 010 and Foot Esports, and including Bushido to a degree, out in that sort of far west. That zone does shift, you say, down towards that southeast, so they've got to get moving. Early move from Foot Esports, really good to see. You can see him in that mini map now, as they will sort of play around the outside edge, but they will know not to get involved too early on. They just need to find the safest route to where they want to park up next.
Make it sound so easy, but it clearly isn't all that simple. Just find the safest route, guys.
No!
And this is exactly what happens when you try to do just that. One down, two down. Soapy and Dacquil, now the lone players left alive, stuck on the other side of the street, trying to make something happen.
my
But now
God.
Hands of Hope starting to peek into this 1-2 T-Bone. Caught behind the tree, has to make the transition over towards his fallen teammates. Has a chance to get his teammates back up alive, especially with FaZe now helping out from the southwest.
I don't know. I think he's got to have to cut loose. Hand of Hope had timed it right. They've come in for that north side. Now they get involved in the third party. The chaos is going to unfold now in the town. Jogger does get one quick kill confirmed, but stolen away from Geek though. Vorpal Sword does get 010 down as well. T-Bone eager to try and get Ainty back, but Hands of Hope, good play for them. Great timing, but they know when to apply the pressure.
I feel like 010 had a great chance to stay up on the hillside, but never even stopped to scout it. Maybe just
my God.
playing with a bit too much fear. Nade lopped over, mortar shells ringing now as well as Foot. They just, yeah, there ain't a whole lot you can do.
That's harsh.
There was literally nothing for you to fight for out towards that northeast.
Arguably, Grief get away with it to a degree. Obviously,
Oh,
North Fire was
definitely. They were
coming
just
from
stuck on the other
FaZe.
side, yeah.
Yeah, like they obviously they were on a 2-2 split. Fight between them and kind of Foot Esports would have been quite clean, but the fact that Hands of Hope came in from the north side and closed that fist in on Foot
Yeah.
Esports, there was nowhere to go, and Grief get a little bit of a bypass.
Also, I should reword. There was plenty to fight for in that position. Issue was there's simply too many teams trying to claim the same position, and in the end of it, well, somebody has to fall, and Foot were the ones to do so first. And as you said, Creef now towards the east, still two guys up, and I would imagine Hands of Hope is going to do something to try and dislodge them because they would have so much space. The good thing on them, though, is that they're playing with the awareness that, wait, if we like this spot so much, maybe other teams would too. And Navi, towards the northwest, are actually looking down in their direction right now. So if Hands of Hope were to try and take the fight towards Griff, you can be sure that Navi would opt to engage. So actually pretty smart on Hands of Hope. They're holding back for the time being.
Yeah, and they have to sort of go back towards that north. Let's get a little bit of a restock, so reposition here. There's obviously an argument that Grief might be looking at that recall system towards that sort of northeast of their position. It'd be difficult. You're going to need some meds, but for me, you're on the outside edge now. Zone shifts back your way. We give up the unplayable on that east, but we don't give up the town. So Grief will maybe hope and just stay as a duo, and hopefully everyone else gets moving back into the town. And Hands of Hope, well, I'd be really intrigued to see how they play this one, because holding a centralized position like this, you've got Navi playing in that sort of north side. Do you want to stay here, and for how much longer?
Not often you see Kang Young being the center position for an end game like this. First phase, nowhere near making landfall before he was taken out of the sky. Hype does manage to get nailed up down on the ground, though, so maybe he can prone, lay low, and get some placement points should the next circle shift west, because if it does, that's going to be a crazy city ending. But until that point, the edges have to be fought for first. Hagatori spots Nabat. One taken down. They have one more player in the same... Actually, no. Scratch that. It's just Nabat here caught on a split.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go for that 2-2, but they toyed with the idea. But maybe thinking that sort of west was completely clear. Navi have taken advantage of this. But they're obviously looking for that transition as well. So they go merry-go-rounds in a clockwise position on towards the zone, so they'll be next in the sort of north to northwest side. But back to the chaos though. Fex gets Chris, and Chris gets Noix. Around we go. Everyone's getting knocked in the town.
Yeah, Resses should come through. And I'm just realizing now that Norik is actually alive as well. I thought it was just the solo player left for Hype. But nope, there are two. Not sure how they're ever going to regroup. Maybe it won't matter too much, because for now, there's plenty of opponents around. You're just going to stick to your room and hope that it doesn't get naded anytime soon.
Really up to back off.
Speaking
Nate goes through the door, and then the second one goes through as well. Bit of a basketball approach to this one. They are using the backboards to launch them rounds. Fexstone might have just been there, just double check exactly where that door was before launching more nades. And then, yeah, they get the freedom just to maybe get some reses back on. C4s could be dangerous.
Yep.
Wait and see.
I didn't even think about that. That could be multiple teams wiped with a single C4. Kanyong, not that big a city. Buildings clustered towards one another. One well-placed C4 could easily take out multiple teams as Bushido now feels the need to push into the city as well. The crossbow sliding, taking down his teammate. Sparrow finds one. Celtic, though, able to get himself a double to try and reset, but might be a bit too little too late. Crossberg down as well, but no one really in a position to engage in this.
No, Jogger's going to try and launch some U2 out here, but Hands of Hope in the north going to stop that push coming over. FaZe itching to get involved as well. Fex looming this way. Vorpal do get the knockdown on Brex, and yes, despite the chaos of the car coming in and causing a bit of self-harm to the own team players.
Yeah.
They get away with that, and they get away with that lucky there, Bushido.
If this next circle does not go west, we are going to be in for a crazy time in the city. Let's see where does it take us. It goes towards the northeast. Okay, so half the city is still in, but it's going to be fought over by half the remaining teams in the lobby. In the meantime, Hope, they're like, guys, I'm a little worried that we have this much space because, A, there ain't a whole lot to play up here, and B, how are we supposed to defend it?
Where is everybody? That's what they're saying.
Droning in a check. That's what they're doing, at least for now. Oh, Calic, he even made it there. But too little help. Hit the side. Yeah, unlucky.
It's unfortunate. Just the brakes and the bus, they weren't fully serviced. Now we can get the slush on him, though, so I think he's reasonable.
Well, let's see if they're going to get there in time. I saw a tire pop. I see 2 tires pop. Just drive straight, mate. Do not do any turns. Hope you don't hit your teammate. A solid 360, but it's out on the wrong side of the vehicle. Can he make the run? Maybe try to make the run for it, but it's not.
Oh, how did he hit that? That was the smallest gap. And Vex on a tighter angle than we saw from Vart there, Toby.
And now they have 2 players knocked there. Who will go as the third to try and get their teammates up? This Jack of Doom, they're sending it. They're going for it. They're trying to get it back up alive. There's enough cars parked there to block them off down to 1 HP, but able to get back down behind the wall.
There's that angle from Fex. Some of the as well. He's got such a tighter angle, able to get it. FaZe, well, they've got other issues though, and that's going to be a send. They're charging the way forward though, as they'll try and hold. They come across Vorpal sword. A bit tit for tat. Aniko, the new boy. Say before, he's able to still survive. Killikai and Chris has been knocked. Arguably a difficult res. Time won't be on their side, but does have the opportunity. If you can't do it in the car, well, why not just send the ball?
Chaos unfolds as Molotov with the triple gets one more. Ascent wipe there as well as the One-Eyed King finds Aniko, and that's them falling in 11th place. What a chaotic game this has been. I thought things were going to slow down at least a little bit leaving Miramar, but nope, we are just turning on the engines even warmer.
Yeah, it's just waiting for everyone to ensue and leave. She's going to be there, so they can hear cards coming his way. Panzer's dead. Good flash. Oh,
wait, what?
God. He's got one. His flash. Oh, he gets it down to 1 HP. He needs some backup. It does come in time, but it comes in the way, unfortunately, from Hands of Hope, though. The neighbours that have been left to all the free space saved the day from Crin.
How did Salik not get those kills? Sosa blew up the car somehow on his own. I guess he was the one that drove into the rocket. I'm not sure what happened there, but nonetheless, a man sacrificing himself and still not getting the points rewarded for it. Feels bad, man.
Right, is it they shot the rocket, the Panzer, as it came towards him? Yeah, wait and see. Whatever happened, it's chaos. It's ended. It's in the north now. Leave it alone because we've got a lot on the south. FaZe up to 7 kills. They've definitely stormed these first 3 games here. I'd be hoping for more of a south shift, though. I fear if it's been anything like the initial games. Yep, we're going to go open train, though, 3rd time around.
I mean, FaZe, they knew the value of the city. They came in as the 2nd team, kind of forcing Ascent up into the northwest split, and they came in not just like that, but they came in and knew exactly where in the city they wanted to play from. They were very specific in how long they hunted Ascent for, because they wanted these northern side buildings to themselves, because regardless of where the circle takes you, it's so much easier to play from up here. If they come north, well, you're in the best spot. If they go south, you have an out on the northern side of the circle too. So smart on them to decide where to want to go, and now get to reap the rewards. In the meantime, BB trying to get control of the hillside and doing so in great fashion. Best luck able to find Hibago. If they can clear this before the city teams push out, this could be yet another incredible game for BB team.
Yeah, you can see Hands of Hope repositioning that Panzer. BB team obviously has driven that BRDM towards him. Been obviously doing the same, so they're going to take advantage. Actually, that's going to apply pressure towards Hands of Hope. Best Luck does get that confirmation. Hypebeast, well, they're down to 2. 1 in the city. Ketta's taking on the hardcore mode and trying to clear as many kills as he can. Bombelovo He's just looking to continue rising the points around placement. He's in the placement points. We have 8 teams remain to see how that unfolds.
Yeah. City fight was bound to happen eventually, with the circle shifting out, and now that's exactly what's going to happen. Gustav trying to hold off, finds a nail up. It's the first player out this side. Still Crystal around the other side, trying to do some sort of damage, but unable to hold off himself. Phil First is taken down. Hands of Hope falls as well to the hands of Dakro. And more actually coming through. Soppy able to get the double onto BB team.
Yeah, they've stayed really clean as a duo, right? BRDM has to back away. Grief reposition, they're in zone. Don't forget, we saw them obviously clash with Footy Sports quite early on. They haven't gone for that recall, so they sort of stay quiet. Now they're playing in for the late game. Phase number 6 here, BB team having to back away. Aggressive stance going forward. We've seen this from BB team. They try to take as much space as they can, but unable to sort of do so, and they've had to go back, tails between their legs, into the south side.
I would love to see a total damage count on the side of FaZe right now, because I think all of their players have 500 or 600 or above damage done. As I say, that team's down to 200, but nonetheless, they're all playing incredibly well, not taking anything for granted. As here comes the dangerous BRDM. Is there a Panzer on the side of Bushido? If not, then they might be in trouble.
Damage here. Nate will come in. That's close, though. Somehow survived it. Doritos keep him alive. Have to drive forward, though. Sometimes getting underneath the util is going to be better, though. Krint needs to be cautious as well. They are driving forward. Now they come off on the backside here of FaZe. FaZe causing that damage. Hypebeast. Gee, they're going to be eliminated, though. Jeans does find Keta, the final player for them. And Salik has to find some cover. He's not quite sure where the shots are coming from. He just identifies here. Now he's going to try and keep the pressure on.
Exactly. I love the fact that Krint is kind of taking this fight head on. They know that they have to deal with FaZe in order to be able to do anything else. And the fact that there's only 2 from Kreft towards the east, they aren't too afraid of them, because they don't really have a chance to push out. But look at what great contain there's being played here by BB and by Krint. There's just nothing the teams that are trying to fight their way out can do, because they're holding this position really well. And Molotov drives in to the Dorito that then takes out Naileup. That's classy.
Throwing his Dorito trash out the window, waiting for it to fall down. It's interesting to see actually Bushido and Jogger were so close next to each other. Unfortunately, he did step on the landmine, and Jogger did survive one out until Molotov survived. Top 4 now. FaZe unfortunately losing some numbers. James in the safety of what is the remainder of the town for now. The zone will push him away. Arguably, maybe with 1 blue zone, he should be up to med. He gets on time. He does. They really need a second, but it looks like they haven't got it.
Yep, just exactly able to stay put. Fix falls now as well, so it's just James left alive. As Krint still with 3 alive. I mean, waiting for Krint to do anything, really, but they're being held back by BB team. So for now, Krint can kind of take this fight with James on their own. With the smokes being deployed, you'd have to imagine they want to go for it. They have the circle center, but you can't really back off. You need to help your kind of point guard here.
Yeah, they can't even be. They cannot leave this guy be. Molotov causing some problems. Now the helmet has gone.
His teammates are looting.
James is made his way through the middle. He's gone for the drop.
Oh, the flash!
James, though, just better. He puts him down. The helmet's not going to help. The headshot comes in. He's clearing, punching a way forward. And the rest of Krint know, despite they've only got 3 kills, they have to answer this call. And BB know that this is also their opportunity to apply pressure.
I don't want to be rude here, but I feel like instead of going for the crates, I know they're valuable, but cleave James and then fall back. The fact that they have him fight him alone, lose 1 forward, and now lose central position as well, with BB team pushing over this side, I don't think that was the right play. We'll see if they end up getting punished for it, or if they can come up victorious. It's a 3-way duo. And, well, the victor of this is still yet to be called, because no one is really in a prime position.
I think that's such a key point. It's such a key point. I didn't deal with the West. I didn't deal with the danger. Yeah, maybe they might need this more vest and helmet, etc. I think the temptation sometimes gets caught. They've got now an equal fighting. So it's a 3-way duo. And looks like BBT are going to take the opportunity to kind of reload some of this util. And even got the repair. They might be able to repair the BRDM and then sort of play in a bit later.
Well, it's going to slow down for a bit, as, well, Krev, again, they were one of the first teams to take 2 casualties, and from that, been able to chill towards the east. Do we get the repair kit in action with 2 Pestilence trying to fix things here?
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, no,
just
chilling.
need this for late game.
Just chilling. Squeak, trying to make the most of his BODM.
You might put more damage on there. Best has to try and back away. Lots of noise will come out from that, but that's critical. That's kind of finding like maybe a free pass to a victory, because this now having at least over half health back, they're going to be able to bully. They're going to be able to take positions that they want to. They won't be known that they're sort of in the middle at the moment because Quint and kind of Grief are on the other side. And both these duos are trying to get an opening knock on towards BB, but that repair kit might be the difference for them.
Definitely could be. We'll see if there's a Panzerfaust waiting in the hands of anyone anywhere. We saw Dakrill had one earlier, but I don't remember seeing him use it. So it should still be available as now the first one to spot him. It's going to be Salik. He's going to follow them. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Just go by... Oh, well, then it's not shooting. Oh, it's going to come up with this whole thing of just follow the BRDM, let them force the fight on the other side, and then you shoot when they jump out. But
Panzer.
He follows them. There's a Panzer. Do they realize? Yes, they do. I think they saw him take it out. There comes the shot.
Oh, he missed.
Short. Oh, it actually hit it.
Yeah, hit it. They backed out. They did see him. They backed out in time.
Wait, what?
Oh, Best obviously does get a thing. The grenade comes in. To be just get it though. Best will fall down. Monoglock driving their way forward. He wants to take the 2 versus 1 head to head though. Gets the initial spray here. Has to keep the opportunity. The smoke on his back just to keep himself alive.
And now it's the question, when does Sprint engage on this? They have a perfect third-party opportunity. There's one player on the side alive of Moldog, and he will fall as well. So that's BB down and out. And now a 2v2. Their opponents have their backs against the blue with just smokes for cover. I love the fact that they're slowing down now. They know exactly where they have their opponents.
Love this opportunity. Grief in danger early on. Rags to riches to a degree. Can they keep their nerve? We've seen the discipline that they backed away from that foot fight when we saw the third party coming in from Hands of Hope. Now they just redeploy the smokes, looking to try and reposition as they wiggle their way now a bit more to more of a northeast.
No clue.
Hopefully they're going to use the train.
You'd have to. He's got to hear them soon. Yep, now realizes that he needs his teammate Sally. You cannot, if you're Vanos right now, you cannot allow for this to become a 2v1 and another, followed by another 2v1. You need your teammate on your angle. You hear them just in the backside of this smoke, and you can see Sally is moving over here now as well. Smoke's starting to fade out. Just one left to work with.
One left to work with the guys, but good pick up from them. Salik has repositioned now. They will be trying to hold out. Vanos will be a little bit of a surprise. Oh, no, run out. There goes that final smoke out. Grief. So you still have a molly, still have a blue zone. Would you maybe look at that middle tree and just kind of take a guess? Vanos, he's sitting behind it, and no one's giving away a position just yet.
Exactly. They don't know where he is, so I'm surprised that he keeps giving up the angle. Just hard hold one side of the smoke if your teammate hold the other, and hope that no flashes come through. Now that's what he's doing. I like this. Again, he can hear them. He has all the audio available with these footsteps being probably put it out on the backside of that smoke.
Also has found himself in a really good position. I'm surprised they've not kind of just launched it, a bit of a throwaway towards the middle. There comes the opening. Sadic, though, does become the give up when it comes down to the initial knock. 2 versus 1 in the favor for Quinn. Can Grief dig deep, though? One final time, but it's only one final player.
They know exactly where they have him now, too. Vanos just needs to call him over. There is a molly on the tree, able to back off of that one. They're both spraying through the smoke, but once they're opening up the angles. Vanos allowing him to do exactly what he couldn't. Suppy gets a 1v1, gets the first aid off as well. Trying to sprint around the backside, will be taken down in the end of it by Salik. But my, oh my, did Krint make that closer than it had to be?
So close. It was good though, obviously he made the call, right? We saw Sadic have to move around. He went for that north approach and obviously waiting for the guys to whip their way around. He made the call. Vanos heard him. They repositioned though, but down to that kind of 1 versus 1. It's too risky.
Yes. They knew they had the numbers advantage. They knew exactly where they had their opponent. I mean, it was a great play on the attacking side that he gets the molly on the tree, forces him back. But then a scary readjustment there for Krint, where fortunately they get out the victorious in the end anyway.
Good play from them. Really, really strong game. You've got to remember as well, as I said, they were 2 man. They were the ones taking the fight with G Sports. They went down though, obviously, down to a duo. Hands of Hope took their way over. Good play all in all though, but time to Tego come to an end.
Thank you so much, Mark and Toby. Let's have a little conversation around Tego and what we just saw. Krif and Crinton at the end there. Lots of C's for us. Kylars, what did you think of this final 4 matchup?
Oh, they were causing a commotion, weren't they? It was crazy stuff coming up. No, you don't want more? Okay, never mind. But it was good for them, right? Considering that they were able to come